Welcome back to Crown Chats. I'm thrilled to welcome today's guest. She is the face and designer of Dressing Festive, a fan favorite shop at any 90s or Christmas con. Please join me in welcoming Jenny! Thank you for joining Crown Chats with us today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
So tell us, what is the origin story of Dressing Festive?
Yeah, we've been when I say we, my husband and his business partner, we've been in the apparel business for 25 years. So we have three other brands. Our flagship brand, Cincy Shirts, actually has three retail locations in Cincinnati. So we've been doing apparel for a long time. And for a long time, I've been pushing for a holiday brand because holidays are close to my heart. I love the holidays. I love being festive. And I would submit holiday designs and they would do well. And I'm like, man, we just need a holiday line. And when I went out, my husband had purchased tickets for a friend and I to do the Christmas con in Pasadena. And I went out there and there weren't a ton of people set up. And I noticed all of these fans creating their own shirts. And I wore some of my designs and everybody was like, where'd you get that? Where did you get that? But I think the icing on the cake for what really made me decide to start launching Dressing Festive was my friend had worn an Emily's Country Inn shirt to get her picture with Lacey Chabert. And Lacey just like gushed over it. She took a picture of it and she posted on her social media. And I'm just like, I left that event thinking, I think that's sort of like a sign that I need to create this brand. And so that would be like 3 years, I think, in August.
And tell us, how do you come up with your designs?
Yeah, I sort of look at trends, like what's popular, like what does American Eagle do, or what does H&M do, and I look at T-shirt designs like that, and then I think, how can I make these Hallmark, or how can I make these tailored to holiday designs? And so I really have a standard of would I wear it. Is it a shirt that I would wear? And I don't want it to look like anything that you could buy off Amazon or Temu, or that you could go into Target and buy. So I have to be very specific in my designs. And that's the beauty of my brand is we're print on demand. So I can throw up as many designs as I want and see what sticks and what doesn't. I'm always surprised what people like and what they don't like. I think that's my biggest, when I go to these cons, that's my biggest question mark is what designs do I bring, because there's just so many and I don't know what will sell and what won't sell. But for me, it's would I wear it and will I find it somewhere else? And if I can say, yes, I'll wear it, but no, I won't find it somewhere else. And that's normally like a design path that I will go down. Like, okay, let's create it.
Your booth is always the hit of every 90s con and Christmas con. And I'm talking line wrapped around the shop. It is busy from open to close. We are lucky to just see the end product of this beautiful shop you created. But what is a day in the life of that like? How do you prep for that event? What is that experience like for you?
It's massive. It's funny because we've been talking about expanding to other cons, and it takes me easily 3 to 4 months to prep for a con. So I would say it's almost like setting up a store. It's like, okay, let's set up a store. And a lot of businesses don't want to do that because of the cost involved to do it. I am a big believer in emotional buying. So especially among, women, it's like when you're at a Christmas con or you're in a 90s con, you're deep in nostalgia and holiday spirit. So if I set a stage for you, like our 90s con booth, I absolutely love. I have like an old vintage TV and I broke out like my Saved by the Bell DVDs and my 90210 DVDs and stuff that was in my childhood bedroom. And people are just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And so when people walk in my booth, I want them to be like, like they feel the Christmas spirit, or they feel like they're walking into their teenage bedroom from the 90s. And so I spend a lot of time on the decor and a lot of money on the decor, but the prep is just insanity. So like right now I'm working on 90s con. I think it's like 4 or 5 weeks away. And I've been working on it since, January 1. And when we bring over, 50 designs, and then you have to decide, okay, how many of this design do we think we're going to sell? what size do we think the majority of people are going to be? Because that's what I spend hours on. It's like I want to make sure I have people's sizes, but then I like the little tchotchkes. So how do I really drive other sales? So like if you're going to buy a Christmas t-shirt, you probably want some Christmas earrings to go with it, or a candle, or if you're buying a gift. So I spend a lot of time and effort. I wish I could have my own dressing festive store. Like that would be my dream because I would love to decorate it, but I really enjoy doing it. And when I go to these, it's really rewarding for me because you think you're crazy when you're buying this stuff or you're designing this stuff, like no one's going to buy this. And then when they do, it's kind of like, okay, I wasn't wrong about my hunch and my research and stuff. So
And with your booth being the biggest hit of the convention, I've even seen celebrities running around there wearing your shirts. Do you have any cool stories from their visits there or just some neat encounters you've had with them?
oh my gosh, I had so many. I think the last 90s con, the entire cast of Seventh Heaven died over my I Smoked Pot shirt. So I had everyone, we gave the shirt to them for free. And then they wore it like for their whole panel. And then they kept, visiting the booth and I just died because it was nice. And I've had a couple, I mean, a lot of the stars will come visit if there's a shirt that they want, or what's funny is I've had people come shop because they have to bring their kids something home or their girlfriend or their wife. But the I Smoked Pot one was probably one of my favorites. And then I had a really cute mixed flannel at 90s Con that was really popular and ended up selling out. And Chad Michael Murray loved it. Like he loved it so much that he had his people like send over for me to go get him one. And so I'm a huge One Tree Hill and Gilmore Girls fan. So I was like, what? Chad Michael Murray wants one of my flannels. And you can't tell people that story because you just sound ridiculous. Because I feel like in general, like as much as I am a fan, I mean, I'm a businesswoman too. So I don't know that I would go and tell like other people that story, but it was just like, if you would have told 13-year-old Jenny this, she would have like, no way, no way. So that was one of my favorites.
You also dabble with some couture as well as style boards. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I have a sports background. So I worked in sports for, 15 years before I really started in apparel. And while I was working in sports, I had, that was sort of I don't know if you say coming of age of like when the NFL really started launching women's lines. And I was like, yes, because I have been, I was a female in sports and I always hated that there was nothing, there's nothing for females. And it's sort of, and the way that this kind of parlays, and I know it sounds crazy, is I feel like many people sort of look down on maybe the Hallmark community or the Hallmark fans or even female fandoms in general. Like you think of Taylor Swift fans. It's ridiculous that you're dressing up for that concert. And, that's crazy that you would, want the shirt that this person wore. And I always go back to my sports background. It's like, we don't think it's crazy if men wear their jerseys of their favorite quarterbacks or their favorite baseball players. But it's kind of crazy if a woman wants to wear the exact same coat that, I don't know, I'm trying to think, Lacey wore in their favorite movie. And so my first sort of step into this world was I want people to feel like, even though they don't live in a Hallmark movie, they can dress like they live in a Hallmark movie and sort of embody that with the clothing. And I think men do that with their athletic and their sports gear. So there's no shame in that. I want to say I still think there's a lot of sort of female bashing when it comes to like or awkwardness when a woman wants to wear the exact same outfit that she saw in a Hallmark movie. And I really don't think that there should be that at all. In fact, I think it's completely normal and I think it's completely healthy. Like if I see a cute outfit on someone, I want that or I want to recreate that. And so we had started, not we, this is mainly me, but I started dabbling in like style guides. And the way that came along is, I remember Candace wore this beautiful sequined reindeer sweater in one of her holiday movies. I think it's Switched for Christmas or Switched to Christmas. And because we have an apparel line and retail stores, I was like, I wonder where she got that from. I wonder if I can wholesale it. And I could. And so that's something that you would see in my Christmas con booth, but something that you could buy online at my website as well. And then I just kind of got more into it where I was putting together these style guides so that you could dress like a Hallmark star. So sometimes it's the actual clothing that you see on them, like the actual brand. But I've been toying with doing dupes, like Amazon dupes, because some of the stuff that they wear is expensive for the average person. Not everyone's going to buy a $400 Ted Baker white coat because it's just not practical. So it's like, okay, but if you could buy the Amazon version for $100 and recreate the whole outfit, I mean, why wouldn't you?
And that brings us to our final segment, which I call a little crown to crown, which is simply a rapid fire response. I'm going to give you a topic, and you're going to give me the first answer that comes to mind.
Okay.
So we'll start with something simple. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Favorite non-Christmas Hallmark movie?
Okay. Irresistible Blueberry Farm is one of my favorite, but I also love the All of My Heart movies.
If there was a Hallmark movie all about the story of Jenny and dressing festive, who would play you?
Kimberly Sustad.
If you could magically step into the world of any Hallmark movie, which would it be?
A Very Merry Mix-Up.
If you had to pick one Hallmark movie trope to live out in real life, whether that be switching places, returning to a small town, rescuing a struggling business, which would it be and why?
I don't know. I've always wanted to live in like a Hallmark like town. So if I could like be the person that comes back and saves the small town and like live in the small town, I would love that.
And lastly, a favorite charity or organization to give a special shout out to that holds a special place in your heart.
Cincinnati Children's Hospital. My son was in a clinical trial there for almost 10 years, and he was cured of his food allergies. He was the youngest kid to undergo a trial there at the age of 4. And because of him, the FDA had approved immunotherapy for kids, oral immunotherapy. And he's in a bunch of articles. He's had a ton of interviews, and he's a lot of the reason why kids can get desensitized to peanuts.
And that wraps us up. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am such a huge fan, obviously, of your merch and your apparel. So please tell everybody where they can find and follow you so we can keep up with Jenny and all things dressing festive.
Yeah, our website's dressingfestive.com. So is our Instagram and our Facebook, but also check us out on Pinterest. I've been posting a lot of like content and how to style our shirts and style guides on Pinterest. So our Pinterest board's a lot of fun. It's like a lookbook for all of the holidays and all of the fashion.
And that wraps up this episode of Crown Chats. Thank you again for joining us and for being such a wonderful viewer. Dressing Festive and I are pairing up to do a gift card giveaway for this announcement. So stay tuned for how you can win some amazing merch just like this. We have some really exciting guests coming on in the next week, from authors to actors. You don't want to miss out. So make sure you like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow me at Crown the Halls on Instagram. And until next time, wear your crown. Your crown may tilt, but may it never fall. You are beautiful and you are strong.